First, I want to start by telling a short story, and the source is unverified, but it is very much worth noting. So once someone asked Babasaheb Ambedkar, "What is the biggest accomplishment of your movement?" You expected him to say it is the Constitution of India. Few people expected him to say the abolition of untouchability. Few people expected him to say the reservations, and few expected him to say the religious conversion. But Babasaheb said, "The biggest accomplishment of my movement is that I have put life into dead people. I have aroused self-respect in people. I have inculcated in people a feeling to fight for their honor and their rights. I enabled them to stand for themselves and show to the world their full potential." Keep the lamp of spreading awareness of Babasaheb's movement of liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice ideology always burning. After so many sacrifices of our founding fathers and mothers, from Buddha to Mahatma Phule to Babasaheb Ambedkar, now people understand the purpose and significance of non-stop spreading awareness. Awareness amongst the masses is the necessary precondition for any kind of revolution to take place. So during Buddha's times, the society was not as sophisticated and complex as was during Mahatma Phule's and Babasaheb's times. It seems also true that the current times are way more complex than it was before. Spreading awareness is not an easy task. Spreading awareness means understanding these complex times and making our masses aware of things going on around them. The awareness will then lead to the creation of a society that our forefathers fought for, a society based on liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice for all. So one can pay respects to Babasaheb by learning and spreading awareness, which is the real education to the masses. Mahatma Phule once mentioned that real education is simply which helps one in knowing what is good and what is bad for oneself. It helps a person to differentiate between a friend and a foe. For us, Babasaheb is not just an individual. He is an institution. There are more than 22 volumes of Babasaheb's writings and speeches published by the government of Maharashtra in English and freely available in PDF format on the Ministry of External Affairs of India website, and I strongly encourage you to read it. The more you read him, the more you need him. People still ask how else one can revere or pay respects to Babasaheb. I want to quote a few examples of how people who respected him revered him. After the Mahaparinirvan of Babasaheb on 6 December 1956, lots of material handwritten by Babasaheb himself was not published for almost 20 years due to legal custodial issues. And after a long legal battle, more than 22 volumes of Babasaheb's writings and speeches were published by the government of Maharashtra. And the editor for most of these volumes was Mr. Vasant Moon. Due to the fact that the papers were locked in boxes for several years, it was not only difficult to read those handwritten papers, but also very dangerous to the eyes and the health of Dr. Vasant Moon due to the poisonous fumes. You had to handle the papers with care to make sure that the precious material is not destroyed or lost. Mr. Vasant Moon dedicated his whole life to make sure that Babasaheb's messages and books reaches to people, despite caring for his own life and career. That is how respected Vasant Moon revered Babasaheb Ambedkar. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar established the Samata Sainik Dal on 13th March 1927. Most of the retired soldiers and many other young men and women of that time joined the Samata Sainik Dal as volunteers. Babasaheb was never afraid for his life, but these volunteers knew what Babasaheb's life meant for the future of India. The SSD volunteers used to guard Babasaheb like shadows. Some of them even used to disguise themselves as British soldiers when needed, or some as gardeners, coolies, and even beggars. Each and every volunteer was ever ready to work 24/7 to lay down their life for their beloved Babasaheb and society at large to make sure that Babasaheb's movement succeeds. That was how the youth of that time revered Babasaheb and his movement. Today, our helpless brethren facing various atrocities in remote places all over India look for the support of our youth today. There are also pathbreakers amongst us. For example, Purna Malavat, a Swaro, at the age of 13 years and 11 months, she was the youngest girl in the world to climb Mount Everest on 25th May 2014. In year 2015, Tina Dabi, a 22-year-old girl, not only cracked the UPSC exam, but also achieved the first rank in her very first attempt. On 12th July 2018, Hima Das won the 400-meter finals at the World Under-20 Championships, and she became the first Indian sprinter to win a gold medal at an international track event. So let us find our own way to revere Babasaheb and to take forward his movement. Let us live our lives by unleashing our full potential in every field we can. We owe it to Babasaheb. Babasaheb Ambedkar once said, "The battle to me is a matter of joy. The battle is in the fullest sense spiritual. There is nothing material or social in it. For ours is a battle not for wealth or power. It is a battle for freedom. It is the battle of reclamation of human personality." In Babasaheb's words, self-respect and self-help movement has nothing to lose but everything to gain. Together we can, with the motto of one for all and all for one. So let's be aware, be safe, and be there for one another and society at large. Together is the best place to be. Together, let us scale new heights. Together, let's write the history of the Ambedkar age. Thank you. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat.